We were doing rational exponent. What are you fucking lying about? They're funny, Jimmy. It's a goddamn lie. You fucking being disruptive as soon as I start the video. Do I need to throw your ass out?
Yeah.
9:35, what do we do? This is like day 9 or day 7 lecture. And we are in R6, R7. And this was our rational exponents and radicals section. And last we did a bunch of little problems practicing regular exponents. And I showed you the formulas for the rational exponents, but we didn't actually work through them. So if I have a to the m over n, I have a fraction. This is the nth root of a to the m. Or it's the nth root of a raised to the n power. And you can treat it, you can like look at it as like a to the 1 over n times m, which means you can just switch those around and change whatever order you do that. Now, if n is an even number, if n is even, we want a should be greater than or equal to 0. Otherwise, we get imaginary numbers, and we're not there yet. Imaginary numbers are very important to everything you hold dear in your life, because they are the equations that govern alternating current, which powers your fucking cell phone. And what will we do without our goddamn cell phones? Our lights, our refrigerator, fucking TV, our air conditioning. Just think about all the things that fucking use the electricity that goes in your house. It's all based on complex numbers that use imaginary numbers. If n is on though, no one gives a fuck. A can be any number. It's any real number. Luis, I think, recognized that song the quickest. He gave me the quickest fuck off. That was pretty quick.
Song from the
It's a rickroll. Never gonna give you
Oh,
up.
yeah, there you go. That's what.
81 to the 3/4 power. I can write this as 81 cubed to the 4th root, or the 4th root of 81 cubed. One of these is harder than fuck. That's not even a real fucking, it's a meaningless expression. Harder than fuck, what does that mean? I don't know. Just fucking made that shit up. So, strategic approach. Let's break down 81 until we get it down to things we recognize. 81 is 9 times 9. And each of these is a 3. So if I write this in terms of prime numbers, I have 81, which is 3 to the 4th now, raised to the 3/4. Or if I put it in this thing, So in case you don't remember. Roots and square root, or squares and square roots cancel out. So like square root squared is just x. Right? Same thing with the other way. If the x squared was on the inside, we took the square root. So the fourth root canceled with the 4 exponent. This just becomes 3 in here cubed. And 3 cubed is 27. Now, I think if you just factor it and don't look at the roots, I think the exponent form is actually easier. Because when we had this shit, we said x to the m raised to the n is multiply this. So this becomes 4 times 3/4. And the 4 and you're dealing with fractions, the 4's cancel out, we're left with 3 cubed that way also. So both approaches do it. That one's the hardest with the 81 cubed, because like cubing 81 is first off a pain in the ass. And then like breaking it down, it's just a lot of work. So it's better to go the other way.
Are these just different ways to write them, would you be able to do it like that?
Yeah, it's different ways of tackling this problem. What's with the crazy look movies? What's bothering you?
So does the 4 and the 3 to the 4th power, do those cancel?
Yeah. Because an nth root of x to the n equals x. Well, it actually equals absolute value of x. But if it's the other way around, if we have nth root of x raised to the n, this is definitely x. Right. So for glory.
As far as this,
I had fun telling my Tuesday night class about our discussion. About Professor shit in his pants. That was fun. They just laugh. It's fun. It's all it was meant to be. All right, let me give you guys one to do. You guys try it. You get the principle, right? 25 to the 3 halves. Give it again to see how you do. I'm feeling pretty goddamn proud of myself. It's only been 5 weeks and Luis is already fucking comfortable telling me to fuck off. Right? That's a healthy student teacher bond. You're not intimidated by it. If you're telling me fuck off, you're not intimidated by it. You're not worried that I can give you an F. That's good. If you're not intimidated by it, you're more likely to listen to me and ask me questions and shit like that.
it's like a friend.
Right. But I don't think Luis would ever say that I'm his friend.
Probably not.
Can I be your friend, Luis?
Yeah.
I fucking tell you.
It's not necessary.
He says that now, but when he wants a fucking letter of recommendation.
Yup, exactly. He didn't create the line.
Right, he didn't make that fucking, he didn't improve the bond. I even extended it to him.
That's what.
So someone walk me through this. Jimmy's over here fucking shaking his goddamn head now.
Five squared. And 3/2.
Yeah, 25 is 5 squared. That looks good. Now what?
19 multiplied by the 2 and the 3/2. The
3, right?
Which equals
That equals 125. Excellent. It's a healthy way to approach it. You can also look at doing the second root of 25 cubed. Like that. And you're not used to seeing the 2 there. Because on square roots, we normally don't show. That's just for regular square root of 25 cubed. So if you know the square root of 25, you get 5 cubed and bang.
Once you do that, parentheses makes no difference in that, it's just another. You just multiply it out to that again.
The parentheses makes, what do you mean makes no
Yeah,
difference?
you only with the same one, so you're not. Add count there now. Rather than square root.
The parentheses, do the parentheses to show that the cube root is hitting whatever the results of that operation are. All right, -4 to the 5 half power. You may want to put the negative with it, but the exponent is not applying to the negative. This is negative square root of 4 to the 5th power. Or you could have done -2 squared to the 5 halves power. It ends up being -2 to the 5th power. Which is 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. -32.
Mr. David, I would like to ask you a question. In the bottom, the third one that says negative and it's between the parentheses, the 2, you try to raise it or is just a 2? Is to the
Here?
power, yeah,
I'm raising 2 squared to the power of 5 halves.
I didn't hear you.
I'm raising 2 squared to the power of 5 halves.
Yeah, but the square, the two square, that one you try to raise the 2 or you remark it?
What the fuck did I do? That's completely fucking wrong. Look at that. Let's try that again. That is, oh no, yeah, I was writing it 2 ways. That was completely right.
Yeah, the 2, yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
raise
the
it?
other way of doing it was treating the negative separately. Rewriting 4, I'm just rewriting what 4 is as 2 squared, and then the 5 halves is still there.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This way's got me fucking second guessing myself over here. That's good.
Thank you.
Fucking Jedi mind trick the teacher. Right? Fucking make him think he's fucking crazy. Alright, you guys ready for more? Are you sure?
Choice thing.
This is
Wait,
true.
wait. A minute.
I know you got this written down because you were talking about the fucking headline.
You can
Place?
no,
Oh,
yeah,
wait.
because you can go a little bit up.
What?
A little bit up.
That way? Which
No,
way is
up. Yeah, there. I got it.
it? Alright, enough of that bullshit. Go fucking with me, Josue. 216 to the negative 2/3. I'm gonna tell you right now that save you some help, some struggle. 216 is 6 cubed. Another way of looking at this is doing 1 over 216 to the 2/3, make it positive down there. And that's 1 over the cube root of 216 squared. If you multiply on this one, you're gonna get 6 to the negative 2. If you do this one further, you get cube root of 6 cubed squared. And the cube root and the cube go away, so you get 1 over 6 squared, which is the same thing as that. And they both equal 1 over 36. Negative 100 in parentheses to the 3/2. This is the square root of negative 100 cubed. And this is going to lead to complex or imaginary numbers. And so this is not something you're expected to be able to do, not yet. So the n, the denominator is even, and so we don't want a negative number on the inside. However, if we have something like negative 64 to the 2/3, well, n here is 3, which is odd, so we can have a negative number. So this is the cube root of negative 64. Fuck. Negative 64 squared. $64 is, let's take a look at it, is 8 times 8. That doesn't help us. This is 4 times 2 and 4 times 2. I got 2 4s. If I put these together and make another 4, I could write 64 as 4 cubed. So cube root of negative 4 cubed squared. Which is going to lead us to negative 4 squared, which is 16. All right, let's kick it up a notch. What if we have like 18 to the 1/2 And we multiply it by 18 to the 7/2, and we divide it by 18 cubed. What do the rules for exponents tell us we can do here? Do what? So I didn't hear you.
Process of elimination.
What do you mean by that?
Uh,
How? We can't subtract top and bottom. If we're doing the exponents. I could write that as 18 to the 1/2 times 18 to the 7/2 minus 3. I can do that. Anything else?
And what's for the 18 in year exponents?
Say that again.
What's for the 18 and then half?
If we multiply them, what does it do to the exponents?
Is it 18 squared?
No, don't square it. Cause then you're changing it. If you struggle to remember how the exponents work, do a real quick one with like 2 squared, 2 cubed.
I'm not for point.
This is 2, ends up being 2 to the 5th, so it looks like. Yeah, so, cause you can always write that as 2 times 2, and then 2 times 2 times 2, and you can see that it's added, so here we can add up. So we have 18 to the 1/2 plus 7/2 minus 3. This is 1/2 plus 7/2 is 8/2, which is 4. So this is 18 to the 4 minus 3, which is 1. So the answer is just 18. With 18 to the first power is just 18.
So we do the 18, it's
If you look at it like if we dealt with this part here. This is 18 to the 1/2 times 18 to the 1/2. We did the subtraction first. This is the square root of 18 times the square root of 18. And if it helps you see it, that's the square root of 18 squared. So if you have them in exponents and the bases match, just deal with the exponents. Doing that addition, if they're multiplied, you add them, if they're divided, you subtract the bottom from the top. They have to have the same base though. Once you clean it up that way, then deal with it. Trying to go through and figure out what these are, like 18 to the 7/2, 18 to 1/2, that's a lot of pain, that's pain in the ass work. Just to find out if you'd gotten down to the end and undid everything. And ended up with just 18, you'd be fucking pissed that you did all that extra work. So try to work with the exponents where you can.
We're still led to the same one, though.
What?
We're still led to the same one, though.
You should get the same answer, yeah. Let's do 100 to the 3/2 times 16 to the -3/4. So. If I rewrite this, I can make this 100 to the 3/2 over 16 to the 3/4. I think that's helpful. Because then I can rewrite this, the 2 tells me it's a square root. So square root of 100 cubed. Over. The 4th root of 16. Cubed. Square root of 100 is 10. So that's 10 cubed there. 16 is 4 times 4. And that's 2 times 2 and 2 times 2. So I have the fourth root. Of 2 to the 4th power there. With the cube. The 4th root and the 4th exponent go away, they cancel each other. So I just have 2 on bottom raised to the 3rd power. We can do those individually, or rules of exponents say. I can treat that as 10 over 2 to the 3rd power. I think this is actually easier because that's 5 cubed. And we did 5 cubed earlier, which is 125. If I did it here. If I went from 10 cubed to over 2 cubed and just did them. I have 1,000 over 8. Which not everyone can do in their head. So you might have to grab a calculator at that point. But I hope, well, not everyone can do 5 cubed in your head either, so there's that. Any questions? Are we having fun yet? Yeah. Everyone ready? Close way?
Yeah.
You're good? Okay.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
I knew if I didn't ask him. Like, no, put that back. Alright, okay, let's kick it up a notch. Well, it's not really kicking it up a notch, but we're just gonna put some variables in there. What do we do here? Well, remember, this is 4 times x to the 3/4 times 5 times x to the 2/5. And I'm deliberately pointing that out so that you can recognize that we can change the order of multiplication. So this can become 4 times 5 times x to the 3/4 times x to the 2/5. And so maybe you'll see the 4 times 5 is 20. What do we do with the exponents here? We add them. So we probably need a common denominator. I'll multiply that one by 5 over 5 and that one by 4 over 4. And I get 15 plus 8 over 20. Which means I have 20x to the 23 over 20. That's fine. It's dumb.
Yeah, why are you rearranging everything?
Here?
Yeah.
Because not everyone recognizes to do the 4 times the 5. I asked what do we do and no one said anything for 30 fucking seconds. So,
Boom. I can just be like, I'm taking away the 5 from the x and just make it to the 4. And just like 4 times 5, and then make the x and the x make it respect to each other, and then make it e to the 4 plus 2 to the 5, and just get, I don't know, what's the figure of it.
you don't have to write this step.
So it's just,
This was to point out, don't do that fucking step. Don't do this fucking step. You should get to that step. That's not really a skippable step at this point. Unless if you go from here to here, I'm taking you through that shit in your calculator. You gotta have some work. But no, we didn't need this part.
that's just gonna be confusing steps.
If you don't need to do that, don't do it. Other people don't even know what to do there. They look at it and are fucking confused. So I'm just pointing out, you multiply the numbers together and multiply the x's together. And I was showing why. Don't do it. Don't write it if you don't wanna write it. He's a little fucking too comfortable now, right?
Yeah.
He's got a little mouthy.
Just gonna
He said my shit was stupid or some shit like that. Nah. F is much more fun. Fucking ding him on every single question for not dotting his goddamn I. He's like, where's the I? I'm like, nope, we're using I for a variable just to say fuck you and Luis. Alright. There you go, Luis. Do it any way you want. Do that one any way you want. Give this a try, guys. I had so much fun yesterday, Jim. I learned about the Mormon religion. In the morning, I didn't bring up the Mormon religion, Sue brought it up. About grandma being Mormon at 87, moving to Utah, be around other Mormons at 87. And then she started telling me, so I don't know how it came up, but did you know Mormons baptize their dead?
That's
You
crazy.
can- Yeah, baptizing the dead. Just think about that.
That's pretty good.
What's, if you've never heard of it before, what's your first thought when you hear baptize the dead?
Sending it to the party, yeah, before they send them off.
Before burial or something like that, right? That's why, I'm like, so I asked, I'm like, you're dunking a dead body? Nope. That was the answer, no. Okay, did you dig it up? No, we use children. We use a descendant to represent the person that's passed away. The idea is, like, if people found the Mormon religion and their grandparents didn't have it, they don't want you to be separated in heaven. So you can get invited into heaven after death just by being baptized, having one of your like grandchildren be baptized. So can you imagine all the questions I had with that?
They look so dejected. Second one is. That's a lot to uncover.
It's a lot to unpack there. All right, questions, and I still have more questions. I realize I'm driving on the more questions. All right, so if I distribute this. Now, Luis is gonna bitch at me about doing that step. He skipped that step. He went straight to adding the exponents here. And he probably skipped that bucket step, so he's gonna bitch at me about that step too. But I'm okay with that. I don't need a plus, it's a minus, -5, y to the 3/7 plus 11/7. 3/7 with 4/7 is 7/7, which is 1. Divided first. This one is y to the 14/7, which is y squared. So collectively, we have y minus 5y squared. Alright, let me give
Professor,
Yeah.
The -5 become a positive.
there's a negative. What do you mean it became positive?
What was saying? Oh, no, it's still negative. Oh, okay.
I had the plus here, but I had the minus in here, is that what you're talking about? Alright, online, I heard a question popping up, Eric.
yeah, could I simplify that more by taking a y out? Would that be all right?
You could, but, yeah, I mean, this is, if we could factor it. We could say this is y times y minus 5.
That'll still be the
Depends
right
on
answer.
how, depends on the goal, if it says multiply it out, leave it like this, if it says clean it up. Clean up the exponents, then either one works,
Okay,
they're equivalent, wait. I have that backwards. That is y times 1 minus 5y.
okay.
I got a little. Antsy. Fucking Luis has got me fucking tripping. You're going too fucking slow, Jones. I don't like what you're doing. Alright,
We come back on, sorry. I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding.
oh really, you gonna fucking troll me, Jose? Really? I didn't see that coming, I fucking fell for that. I fucking fell for that. I get all sorts of fucking students going crazy today, they'll. You fucking rickroll them and they're like, nope, fuck you, Jones, not putting up with this shit no more. It's been fucking 5 weeks now, I've had enough, right? There's my retaliation. Fucking work that out. Yeah. I can always pull out a bigger stick.
I hope I don't make you quit.
I'm not, dude, you're not gonna make me quit. Gee, I make way too much money for fucking,
Jones doesn't care.
even if everyone in the class would fucking get mouthy, I'd just fucking torment you guys on the test, I wouldn't quit. There weren't very many teachers I was comfortable telling fuck off. One of them was a COS instructor.
Pretty thousand.
Yeah, he was fucking phenomenal. He doesn't work here anymore. He retired. But he was great because he had gotten a math. I don't know what order he had him in, but he had a degree in mathematics. And then like an undergrad, one of them like he had an undergrad, master's and PhD. No, 2 masters. One in mathematics, one in physics, and one in aerospace engineering. And he taught math here, he was fucking great. He was one of the best teachers. And we went to a math he was his chaperone for a bunch of students for a math conference down in like, I don't know, fucking Riverside or some shit like that. And like 4 or 5 of us were actually adults old enough to drink. So after the conference, we all went to a bar and played pool with him, and he did fucking poorly. And I started fucking heckling him. And I got the fuck off from him. And so then I gave him the fuck off back. And it was a very joyful day. It was. Don't fucking blow smoke up my ass, Jimmy. Right? It's fucking blowing smoke up my ass.
You're just trying to be. I know, I was just trying to be this. Thanks, man.
I'm kissing ass up here.
Got my back.
Cause I do have your back, I'm your teacher. Got your back. Are you done? That's a real fucking question.
It is, we're heckling around.
This,
Oh, no.
keep going on this. Oh, I'll shut up, I'll let you guys work. I'll try. It's fucking harder than you think. What? Did I bring a fucking go-kart down the hall?
That has the best dog.
Billy's cool, I like him.
What's his name?
Billy, I believe. Yeah, like Billy the Kid.
So what are the advantages to working at a community college level as opposed to like university? I mean, it sounds like that professor could have gone pretty much anywhere and he chose a community
He
college.
couldn't go to a university because he didn't have his PhD.
Um,
You need a PhD to teach you at a university. At a university, your main job is not teaching, your main job is doing research. You have to teach a couple classes. But you are there to do research because they get grant money for like, they have to fill out grant applications, give us this money and we'll do research in this field, and that's how a lot of universities bring in a lot of money. So you get a lot of people that are good at research and not very good at fucking teaching.
Is that why they have students sometimes teach the class?
Students will teach like discussion sections. Their professor's time is way too busy to fucking go over problems with you, so they will just like lecture. And like cover the topics and maybe one problem from each. And then graduate students you'll have another hour with like graduate students. And they'll do more problems with you. And so you get more practice with the graduate students, that's at least mathematics, I don't know about the other courses. Normally it's graduate students, I actually got to do it as an undergrad, which is a fascinating story. Whether or not you fucking believe it or not. They normally don't let undergrads do it. But like it was my second to last semester at Merced. And they already knew I was a top student there, like I'd already won an award. For being math student of the year. And a graduate student had got an offer they couldn't turn down. Like they're like, fuck it, I'm quitting I'm stopping here, I'm not getting my degree. Maybe he had his master's and didn't get his PhD, he just left like 2 weeks into the semester. And they couldn't find a graduate student to take over the discussion groups. And so they asked me if I wanted to do it. I said, fuck yeah, I'll do that as an undergrad, that's fucking. That's bragging rights. Yeah, that's there's not a lot of people in all of America that can say that. Is this problem done yet? Are you're not even trying? All right, lazy sons of bitches. What do we do with this 2 out here? We multiply by the exponents, walk me through it.
Do I multiply to the 5 as well, or just the exponents?
The 5 has a 1 on it.
Okay, so 5 squared
Yeah, a lot of people forget the 5.
and 2 or 4 3 times 2.
I just wanted to hear you say do the 5. I'll jump to doing that part, that's what you said. We'll do the same thing over here. 8 gets the 1/3 here also. So, I'm just gonna put the numbers out front, 5 squared is 25. 8 to the 1/3 power is 2. Now, what do I have on my m's? I have m to the 8/3 times m to the 4/3. And on bottom, I have n to the 4/3 times n to the 5/3. So I have 25 m to the 12 thirds. And 2n to the 9 thirds. And this just becomes 25 m to the 4th over 2n cubed. All right, let's take a 5-minute break. I need some fucking evidence. So what were you saying? What happens if a teacher mysteriously can't come to work?
I don't remember.
He's good.
God damn. I'm not the only one that thought that. A couple people looked up when you first started, and like their eyebrows were raising, like, where is he going with this? What do I want to do here? Oh, let's go the other way. Let's do factoring. Yeah. Factor out. Wait, is that what I want to do? No, that's not what I want to do. Why is this even on this page? Yeah, it is. We're gonna start with one you know though. 12x squared minus 8x cubed. That's why I have it on this page. And I'm gonna do this very fucking slowly, just to piss off Luis. And walk you through what happens on the next part. So what is the greatest common factor here, Luis? There's a 4. What else?
2. Wait, what?
What's the greatest common factor of these? Not just the numbers. They both have an x squared in them,
Oh. So
right?
yeah, we 4x squared and then in parentheses.
What's in the parentheses?
3 minus 2x.
You don't like being put on the spot, do you? So if you, how did Luis do this, although he doesn't even know that he did it this way? What he did is he had the 12x squared and he divided each of these by the 4x squared that we pulled out. This is another way of doing this. Okay. So this is the step that normally Luis would say, why are you fucking doing this? That's why I let him lead with this. So you gotta write, like I would go here right away. This is an instructional step. This can help you get to that. Because all of a sudden, how did I choose x squared? Why didn't I choose the x cubed?
Because that squared is in both.
Right. It's in both. It's also the lowest exponent. That's how we know it's in both. Lowest exponent. I'm like, you're right. I can't like say that's not why. But I was aiming for lowest exponent. So let's kick this up to where it's shit we're not comfortable with. Like maybe 28y to the negative 5 plus 21 or 21y to the negative 2.
Plus 21.
Yeah, plus 21y to the negative 2 power. So we can see it's a 7. The lowest exponent here is negative 5. And I'm going to do what I did in the last step. I'm going to divide each of the terms I had by 7y to the negative 5. y to the negative fives, remember, we subtract exponents. So I have 4y to the negative 5 minus negative 5 plus 3y to the negative 2 minus negative 5. And when we're done, we just have, that's y to the 0 power, so that's just 4. And this is plus 3y cubed. Yeah, it's the lowest exponent.
Yeah, you're closer to the.
Thought.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it is, a lot of it's like, so it's easy to go, it's the closest to 0, negative 2 is closest to 0, we're gonna go with negative 2. But if we go with negative 2, we're left with negative exponents. Here, there's no negative exponents inside. Let's add to the suffering. That's dark. Somebody's got me fucking checking on my shoulder. There's a fucking boogeyman to leave out of the goddamn wall. 18n to the 4/3 power minus 12n to the 1/3. You know I'm gonna try. Kudos to you for all showing up. I know, like. Every student that went through the Tulare system says this is fucking fair day, I don't go to college. Yeah, you do, this is fucking high school. You wanna go to the fair, you go on the weekend, like the rest of us fucking adults.
You know,
What?
not from.
Okay, fair enough.
Kind of very,
I'm not from here either, fuck this town.
fair enough.
I just drive down Barsley and then down J Street and back past the fairgrounds.
I heard there was a parade on the fair.
Yes, the 13th and 17th,
What?
the county fair.
If you're in high school, you receive them? Yeah.
They get the fucking day off for the first day.
Yeah,
Isn't that some bullshit?
Yeah. It is.
privileged sometimes living in small towns. Get random ass days off.
Raising it.
Fair day.
I don't remember getting that day off.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, I don't remember getting that day off now. Is it only for Tulare?
Yeah, I think
Oh, yeah.
it's Tulare Union.
Oh,
Tulare Union.
What should I get into that? I don't know what it is.
Why? So they have the day off while you're off working and fucking causing a ruckus at the fucking fair? Would you trust your fucking 17-year-old self at the fucking fair alone?
Yeah, I would.
It's a goddamn lie.
Pretty good, so. No, I wasn't.
And then we took it back.
Everybody's like,
We all
what?
already out of high school.
I know about that. What factors out here?
2, 6. I
6.
thought 6 at first too.
2 does,
Yeah.
but 6 does also, so we did go with a bigger number. What else factors out?
Nothing.
By the rules I was going with. N to the power of 1/3 or 1/3. Yes. So, if you need to. Do the division thing like this.
See, initially I thought 6, but now like 2 does it well, so. Second guess myself.
We get a 3. And what's left over from this operation here? It's just gonna be n. There we subtract the exponents. 4/3 minus 1/3 is 3/3, and we get 1. What about here? This 2, what happens with the ends? They go away. You don't even need to subtract at this point. I think everyone recognizes if you see it on the top and the bottom, and they look the same, they go away. So that'll be what we have there. All right. X plus 3 to the negative 2 minus x plus 3 to the 3. Try doing that same idea here. Not try, do. Do that same idea here. Try makes it sound like I'm saying you can't. If I knows why I asked that, what happens if the teacher just doesn't show up to work one day or something like that? This is some fucking real shifty shit right there.
What happened? He just went to vacation.
Oh,
Wait, what?
just vacation.
Some free days.
Yeah, the teacher just chose a vacation day, that's it.
And the rest of the-
That's why he's not, that's why he didn't show up for the rest of the semester, he just decided to start vacationing.
Indefinitely.
Indefinite vacation, he's got a permanent vacation. It's underwater, with fucking cement boots, fucking great view.
He went to
Under the water, in the weather.
Right, right.
May not be arrested.
It's true. He had to stay on, he's feeling a little under the water, I mean, under the weather, I like that, I like that, that's good.
That's gonna be his whole interrogation. Order.
You send a note to my boss. Shit happens to me, you better look into this motherfucker. This way it's coming for me. It's fucking coming for me. Alright. What am I pulling out? It has the x plus 3, but we need the x, what exponent am I pulling out with it? That's right. Divided by x plus 3. 5 minus. If it helps you, you can always say u equals x plus 3 and treat this as u to the negative 2/5 minus u to the 3/5, and then just put u back when you're done. But if we clean this up, we have x plus 3 to the negative 2/5. And on the inside, these cancel out, which means we have 1. And what happens with this over here? It's just to the first power, right? 3 minus negative 2/5 on both of them is just 5/5 is 1. So it's minus x plus 3. Well, we can combine some shit there, so maybe we should keep going. That's 1 minus x minus 3. And so I got x plus 3 to the negative 2/5 times negative x minus 2. Everyone with me on that part? I distributed the negative to each of them. And then I combined the 1 and negative 3 to give me the negative 2. These are both negative though. So I can actually factor out a negative as well. And that wasn't clear in the beginning.
Negative sign?
I pulled it out.
Oh, but in order to get that -2, distribute the negative sign.
Yeah. Sorry, that's what you're talking about. You guys ready for the hard one? Minus y to the negative 2. Oh yeah. The fuck did Jones do here? What is this madness? I recommend not working with negative exponents here. This shit's a little too confusing. So I would rewrite this as 1 over x plus 1 over y. All over 1 over x squared minus 1 over y squared. At this point, I'm gonna get a common denominator for the top and a common denominator for the bottom separately. So on the bottom, this one needs an x squared over x squared. And this one needs a y squared over y squared. And on top, this one needs x over x, and this needs y over y. So on top, I'll have a denominator of xy, and I have y plus x up there. On the bottom, I'll have a denominator of x squared y squared, and I'll have y squared minus x squared there. What do I do here?
Okay.
No, hell no, that ain't it. You like fractions and fractions? How do we normally clear something out of the bottom? What's one way of getting this bottom to go away?
Multiplied by the reciprocal.
multiply by the reciprocal. We actually can't subtract it. Cause we're like, it's a denominator thing, but we can. Multiply by the reciprocal. But if I do it on top, bottom of the fraction. I need to do it on top of the fraction as well. The bottom's just gonna go away. And we're left with y plus x times x squared y squared over xy times y squared minus x squared. And now we got some more simplifying to do. What can I simplify here?
Y squared minus x squared,
What can I do with that?
so you got a line there.
What do you mean by that? There is something I can do with it with a y and an x. The way you said it makes me think it wasn't the way I was thinking. This is the difference of squares. Uh-huh. Good, that's excellent. If that's what you meant, that's exactly what we're supposed to do. So. What cancels here? A y plus x cancels. And we already got rid of that to do this part right here. So what else?
One x and y.
The x and y.
We can do one x and one y, right? So
And
we'll
x-
have with an
xy.
xy on top. And we're left with y minus x on bottom. And that's it. I guess I didn't need such a long fraction bar. Any questions? So here we did a whole lot of stuff with fractions and the exponents today. We will not finish radicals today, so rather than diving in all of the radical stuff, I think I'm gonna call it a wrap for today. I'll let you guys out early. So don't fucking make my body disappear, Jose. Have a good day, guys. Good GTFO.
It's over.
Yep.